Welcome to this week's version of Britain's favourite Sunday sermon. Now just cast your mind back. How long have we been talking about the great Rwanda scheme that would be a deterrent to people coming across the English Channel? Is it 1 year, 18 months, 2 years? Time flies, it's hard to know. It's about 2 years that the government has been saying this will be the answer to all their prayers. It will stop, it will act as a great deterrent. So what's actually happened here? Well, we've sent Rwanda, give or take, about £300 million. The only actual human beings we've sent to Rwanda is 3 Home Secretaries and some spads and advisors and journalists. Not a single illegal migrant asylum seeker has gone to Rwanda. And now they're playing this great game in the Houses of Parliament called ping-pong. You've heard of ping-pong? You might have played it in the pub. Table tennis to other people. But no, in parliamentary terms, it means that they're moving this bill from the House of Commons to the House of Lords, back to the House of Commons, back to the House of Lords. I mean, the whole thing is extraordinary. And the Lords have rejected the amendments from the House of Commons, who rejected the amendments from the House of... Oh, you just can't keep up with it. It drives you nuts. The whole thing is a complete and utter waste of time. Why? Well, because we've all sort of sensed, how can it be a deterrent if people are still coming across the English Channel? How can it be a deterrent if people are still prepared, sadly, to take that risk? And yes, tragically, about 10 people have lost their lives this year already, and it's only mid-March, for heaven's sake, late March, have already lost their lives trying to cross the English Channel. Now, I mean, this is clearly not a deterrent. And at the end of last year, the Home Secretary said, yes, but crossings in 2023 are some 36% down on 2022. So the deterrent is there, it's working, their plan is working to stop the boats. Well, here we are, 10, 11, 12 weeks later, March 2024, and already this year, some 4,300 have crossed the English Channel. It's well above the same period this time last year, well above. And in the last 2 days, it looks like about 900 plus have crossed in just 2 days. 900 plus. The very same week that our parliamentarians are debating the latest twist to the latest bill supposedly to become an act. It's like this sort of the people smugglers. They're literally rubbing our noses in it. Here you are, here's a few more hundred whilst you're debating this great deterrent. The whole thing is completely and utterly absurd. It's a waste of parliamentary time, of journalistic effort, of readers' effort reading this stuff, of viewers' effort watching this stuff. The whole thing's an absolute farce. It's not a single jot of a deterrent. If anything, it might even be acting as more of a magnet where the people smugglers say, quick, get on with it, get in, before they do this new act. Honestly, how could anybody seriously have thought that this would be a deterrent? But don't worry. No, it's fine. The president of Rwanda has said, well, thanks for sending me the cash. If you are going to send a plane load over, we then might need a bit of a pause, folks. Yes, how long's a pause? Well, it might be 2 or 3 months. 2 or 3 months after one plane load of a deterrent that's trying to stop tens of thousands coming across the channel. I mean, you literally bury your head in sand at the stupidity of the whole thing. Maybe the president of Rwanda has just completely and utterly legged us over, shafted us, utterly ripped us off. He's just banked the cash. He might take a few if we can get round to it. But otherwise, thanks very much, folks. We then need a pause. We haven't quite built enough accommodation that you've already paid us for, and a lot more besides. I mean, I'm actually genuinely speechless. And I think I speak on behalf of millions and millions and millions of British people who just cannot believe the inane stupidity of these muppets in Westminster who genuinely think that this is going to have any effect whatsoever. Zip, zero, nil, null point. It's just not going to make any difference whatsoever. I'm sick of it. I think you're sick of it. I think the country's sick of it. And the truth is, it's actually dangerous. Yes, it appears this week that someone brought a knife over in one of those boats and had stabbed someone else before they'd even got to the United Kingdom. So they're now coming here with violent weapons to carry out violent acts. And we're told by the lefty lovies that these are all absolutely nice people just genuinely seeking asylum. There's no wrong uns in there whatsoever. Well, there is the proof if ever you wanted it. I'm afraid to say there are some serious wrong uns coming across the channel. They didn't wish us well. It's quite clear some of them actively, they want to cause trouble. They want to act in criminality and if necessary, use violent means to do so. This is without question a national security threat. We're entitled to call it such under the UN 51 Convention, but the lefties won't have it. They won't have it at all. What is required is courage and leadership. But sadly, there's none of that in the government, none of that in the civil service or the establishment. They're just quite happy to let this process carry on. I believe that with determination, you can stop the boats within international law. You safely pick up, as we're currently doing, but instead of bringing them to Dover, you take them back to Dunkirk. We're entitled to do it. I've read the treaties. That is the only way you stop the boats. And with that, here endeth this week's Sunday Sermon.